Welcome to another episode of the Boss Experience podcast. My name is Michele Davis, and I'm your host. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about the fact that the process is what leads to transformation. So often with professional service providers, we come in and we have the skills, we come in, we have the knowledge, we come in, we have the experience, and we come in and we have the track record. But having those things alone does not mean we can educate and teach others or that we can structure an entire business around what we know. We need a process to do that. And so I see the need to discuss this topic in this episode simply because a lot of professionals believe that just because they know something or just because they're very skilled at something or they have experience getting results, that's great for them. But the key to being able to take what you know and to transform someone else's life or to solve a problem for someone means that you have to have a structured way of delivering what you know to educate others or using what you know to educate others. So this episode is really for individuals that are interested in launching a coaching business, whether that be life coaching, health coaching, business coaching, whatever the case may be. This episode is for individuals that are interested in using their skills and expertise to start a coaching business. So if this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Michele Davis, and I'm a business strategist and business coach. And long before I helped small business owners start their own coaching programs, I actually developed programs within the nonprofit industry. So for about 20 plus years, I worked in the nonprofit world. And for 16 of those years, I was a manager, leading my own programs and developing those programs. But for the bulk of those 16 years, a lot of my time was spent actually developing programs and creating programs that were designed to create change in our population. The first program I ever developed, it was a teen mentoring program that was designed to help reduce drug use among teens. I remember developing another drug intervention program, and I've developed programs for survivors of domestic violence. So the list goes on in terms of the programs that I've developed over the years. But the key thing, and the reason I'm sharing this information with you, is the key thing is with any coaching program that you intend to have, it needs to have a structure. There needs to be a process. So in a previous episode, I talked about, how to create that process. So you may want to go back to that where I talk about how to create this profitable and sustainable coaching program. You may want to go back to that episode if for some reason you've missed it and you weren't subscribed yet, where I break down what that process should look like. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the why and some of what I see in terms of why people are unable to get their coaching programs off the ground. So when you think about the coaching world, it can be very intimidating because it is saturated. And there's a lot of people who have a lot of expertise and they're equipped to deliver their program. And what I've seen is you have people who will hang out the coaching shingle, but not really have a process in place for delivering those results. And what does that look like in terms of their program? So you can have someone who is, let's say they spent years as a real estate agent. They've become sales leaders. They have done a lot of great things in their industry, and they're experts in their industry when it comes down to, their ability be at the top of their game in sales, right? But when it comes to them launching their own program, their own coaching service to help someone else get their same results, it's a little different. And it's not that other person, the sales leader, doesn't have the experience. They just have difficulty transferring their knowledge in a structured way that's going to help someone else achieve their same results. In this episode, I want to highlight 3 reasons why you want to have a process. And, just as a refresher, and just in case you missed the other episode, it's all about how to design a profitable and sustainable coaching business. But in this episode, what it means to have a process and what it means to have structure is Everyone's kind of starting off at the same place and everyone has the same destination. And, this looks different depending on what type of coaching service you're offering. Some people offer coaching services like a VIP day or a one-on-one session that the results will vary when you talk about what that person wants to achieve, because it's really based on what the client wants. And then you have group coaching programs where everything is all about the structure and the process, because you're delivering everything all at once with people. Regardless of whether you have a one-on-one service, regardless of whether you have a VIP service, and regardless of whether you have a group coaching program, you want to have structure. You want to have information about who you're working with, and you want to know what it is that they're trying to achieve, and you need to have a process to get them there. Also, what I've talked about in an earlier episode is the one-on-one session. You want to make sure that you know what that person needs to work on, and that you don't have 50 things that they're going to work on. You want to have goals for them, and you want those goals to be achievable. Same thing with your group coaching program, and same thing with your VIP day or whatever other service you're offering. And not only does the goal need to be achievable, it needs to be achievable within the time frame of your program and services. Like I mentioned, we're going to talk about 3 reasons you want to have a process in place. And reason number 1 is uniformity. So when people come to you for a service and you want to have some uniformity in terms of how you work with people and how you deliver your services. How you work with people may be what I talked about in the last episode, where it's your client management. Everyone gets onboarded the same. Everyone gets the same process for how they come to you, and your process for determining what their needs are. And then there's the service part. And in terms of the service, you need to have a process there as well. So at the end of that session, whatever type of session it is, there is a result for your client. And so that result has to match their expectation. And their expectation is set based on what you told them you could do, your big promise. So uniformity helps you provide everyone with the same process and helps them get to, from the place where they need your help and they're in despair or they're unhappy and they need help, to being in a place where they're satisfied, they're giving you reviews, they're referring people to you, and they're coming back to you when they need help again. And so the second piece to that, and the second reason you want to have this process, is because you want a process, a signature process, a blueprint that's yours that can be linked back to your program. Your program alone cannot deliver results. You need to have your process, your unique process that delivers those results. Because remember, if you've heard me or been following me, whether it's on the podcast or on social media, people can go anywhere for programs and services. They don't have to come to you. So you need to decide what is your unique process to get people the results that they desire. So your process needs to be 3 steps, 5 steps, whatever, however many steps you need to take them from one place to another.
Starting a business is easy. Making money from your business is the hard part. The only way to launch a profitable business is to have a plan, direction, and one source of information that gives you everything you need to get started. So what if I told you that a blueprint exists that can take you from finding a business idea you love to launching a profitable online business? Without an email list, a big social media following, or wasting your time scouring the internet trying to put the pieces together. Get the only source you need to launch your profitable business today.
Just visit bossbusinessplanner.com to get yours today. Now back to the episode. Which leads me to the third reason you want to have a process in place, is because you want to be able to replicate your results each and every time. Over the course of your career in your business, you're going to at some point provide services to your clients, to many clients, over a period of time. And so you want to make sure that your services are set up to deliver results every time. And some of the things that I see happening, when people begin working with me, they had maybe they had a coaching program and, for whatever reason, they weren't seeing the same results or they didn't have their results documented. Part of what I do is I help small business entrepreneurs launch their coaching program or revamp it or pivot or whatever it is that they need to do so that they can have profitable and sustainable online programs. And so one of the big issues I see when people start to work with me is they have a lot going on in their brain and they have really a lot of difficulty getting it on paper in terms of what it is they want their clients to achieve in their coaching program. So when we talk about clients achieving results, right, and having their big problem solved, we have to have a process to do that. And so often what I see is we have, a professional who's, definitely qualified to launch their coaching program, but what they don't have in place is a structured process. They don't know what they're going to do first, second, third, or fourth in their program, or even fifth. Like, how are they going to end the program? And what is it that they're going to be educating the person about in between? And so what their services typically end up looking like is they'll have someone come in and the client kind of leads the coaching session instead of the coach. Or they're kind of off the cuff and off of what they think the person needs to know, without any curriculum or any structured way to tell the person what they need to know for, let's say, sales. If you're a real estate coach and you're working with other real estate agents to help them get more sales, what is your structured process for that? And so when I go off the top of my head, to deliver a coaching program and someone's paying me, as a human being, I'm undoubtedly, or at some point, I'm going to forget to deliver, or to speak on one topic with one person and then remember to speak on it with another person. So, the uniformity is important. And so the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to lack uniformity in your services. You don't want to not be able to link results back to your program and your processes. And you want to be in a position to understand how your program operates. And the thing about being able to replicate your services is you are able to pull other people and to train other people when you're big enough to coach in the same way, because you have everything documented, you have everything structured, and you understand how your business works, and you understand the mission of your business because you've taken the time to lay all of that out and you have a set curriculum. So anyone can come in and deliver your program, segments of your program with you at the helm, guiding everything. Or someone could come in and deliver a portion of maybe your introduction or your onboarding or whatever it is that you're doing in your coaching program when you have a structured process. So I hope this episode helps you understand a little bit more about why process is so important and why it's important to really take the time out to map out everything, and why having uniform services is so important. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs feel like, I don't want to be structured. I don't want to be confined when it comes to delivering my service. And it's not, confinement and structure is not anything bad. And I think, we're taking that corporate mentality, that 9 to 5 mentality, and we're not seeing that sometimes structure and uniformity is a good thing, especially when you're talking about business, especially when you're talking about replication, especially when you're able to articulate what it is you do in your business. You need to have uniformity and structure. So if you're having that mindset where you're thinking, I don't want to have a curriculum, I'm smart, I'm going to deliver my coaching service or record my course or whatever it is that you plan to do in your business, you want to do it with a plan, and you want to do it with structure, and you want to have a framework and a blueprint to lay out what it is you do, how you're going to do it, and ultimately what you're going to help someone achieve. So with that being said, that concludes this episode of The Boss Experience, and I hope you tune in next episode. Business success requires planning, strategy, and a whole lot of confidence. You have to believe success is possible for you. That's why I'm gifting you 30 free affirmations to hang around your house, to display in the office, or even use as journal prompts. You see, infusing your mind with positivity allows you to erase self-doubt, increase your confidence, and ditch the fears that come along with starting a business. So it's time to allow your mind to reflect the business and the future you desire. All you have to do is visit BossLadyAffirmations.com to grab your free affirmations today. Now back to the episode.